We continue breaking news coverage after prosecutors decide not to charge a Little Rock police officer in connection to a deadly shooting earlier this year. Thanks for joining us at 6. I'm Ashley Katz.
Hello, good evening. I'm Bob Clausen. It's a case we've been tracking since February when Officer Charles Stark shot 30-year-old Bradley Blackshire during a felony traffic stop at 12th and Rodney Parham. This case has been the subject of numerous protests. Kickoff was Mitch McCoy joining us now live from the Pulaski County Prosecutor's Office with the latest on the decision. Mitch, what have we learned in the hour or so?
Yeah, Bob and Ashley, good evening to you guys both again. Let's start with that car. The prosecutor's office released their statement to the Little Rock Police Department. We've got a copy of that, basically describing why the prosecutor doesn't think any charges can be filed against Officer Starks in connection to that shooting. And speaking of that car, they said that because of the information that Officer Starks had about the car possibly being stolen, which we later learned was stolen, he had probable cause to block that car in and then, of course, approach the car. So we learned from the statement that the prosecutor's office released is that Officer Starks told investigators that he was trying to seek cover, afraid that Mr. Blackshire was going to shoot at him. One of the nuggets that I got out of the statement that the prosecutor released tonight was this, and it says, quote, "Without question, Blackshire's vehicle is a deadly weapon. It also is obvious that it was moving in Stark's direction. It will be argued that the vehicle was moving too slowly to be a threat, but the fact that it was moving at all indicates that Mr. Blackshire had his foot on the gas at the time, and at the very least, it was not on the brakes." Earlier this afternoon, we saw the family of Bradley Blackshire come out of the Pulaski County Prosecutor's Office before the statement was released publicly. You could tell that Mrs. Blackshire, the mother of Bradley Blackshire, was very upset, and we spoke with a very close family friend who told me that they are very upset with the Pulaski County Prosecutor's decision.
It's difficult at best, because after you see the videos and you know what's happened, and for the prosecutor's office to say that, you know, we're not going to prosecute because it's possible that a vehicle moving at a half a mile an hour could have been considered a deadly weapon, it's irresponsible. It shows a lack of respect for people, especially people of color, in Central Arkansas, especially here in Little Rock.
And we just received a statement from the attorney for Charles Starks. The attorney is Robert Newcomb. He released a statement saying, quote, "Officer Charles Starks is relieved that the prosecutor isn't going to file charges. It relieves burden on him and his family. He wishes Mr. Blackshire would have gotten out of the car and this would have never have happened." And that is a direct quote from Robert Newcomb, the attorney for Officer Charles Starks. And I'm just getting this new text message here. And I'm getting word now that the mayor, Frank Scott Jr., will be releasing a statement later tonight regarding the prosecutor's decision on not filing charges. That should be something that will be coming within the next maybe hour or so. On a side note, Bob and Ashley, it's worth noting that just because Officer Charles Starks has been cleared of criminal charges, it doesn't mean that he won't face any kind of disciplinary decision at the Little Rock Police Department. Of course, you had two investigations going on here. You had your criminal, which Larry Jegley just cleared Officer Starks in, and you have the internal affairs investigation. We're told that should be wrapping up within the next 2 weeks, and that is when the chief will be making a decision on whether Officer Starks violated any of the policies and procedures of the Little Rock Police Department. We're live at the prosecutor's office tonight. Mitch McCoy, KARK 4 News.
And just to recap a timeline of this case, the shooting happened Friday, February 22nd at 12th and Rodney Parham in Little Rock. Officer Starks was relieved of duty a few days later, but remained on LRPD's payroll as the internal investigation continues. LRPD released the video showing multiple angles of the shooting and the events that led up to it on March 7th. And then just 3 days ago, you're seeing video from where protesters shut down a busy downtown road. They were there chanting "Justice for Blackshire." The new police chief, Keith Humphrey, also met and spoke with them.
You can follow our full coverage of this case, including the prosecutor's full review of it and reaction from the community, and the entire video breakdown of the February 22nd shooting. It is all on our website at KARK.com.